What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I will take you guys through my very own wildcard draft for the upcoming Game Week 13. So no, I won't be using the wildcard chip, I actually used it in Game Week 8. But now that I've made this Game Week 13 wildcard draft, I'm super jealous of you guys that still do have the chip. And as with every kind of draft video, I'm going to be going over the bread and butter. I always say the fixtures, going to look at the top 6 teams in terms of the fixtures for the next 4 game weeks. Once we have analysed the best fixtures, that's going to provide us a gateway into the draft, and we're going through my starting 11 and also my bench. Now if you guys are on the wildcard chip, drop your latest draft in the comments down below. I want to see what you guys are currently dealing with. But if you guys want to see my draft, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So the first talking point is something that I always like to do is look over the fixtures. I went over to Fantasy Football Fix and went onto their fixture analyzer, took the top 6 teams in terms of attacking rating. But if you guys do want to go for the defensive ratings, just go over to the website and click on that tab. So these will be the top 6 teams in terms of the next 4 fixtures. You might be asking me why the next 4 fixtures will come Game Week 17. That's me after the FIFA World Cup, and we do get a free wildcard between Game Week 16 and Game Week 17. So you guys on the wildcard chip and for the foreseeable future, even if you're just on free transfers, just focus on the next 4 game weeks because as I mentioned, after that, we get unlimited transfers. Now also I've rated these teams in terms of my own rating difficulty, went over to XG Conceded on also Fantasy Football Fix's OptaStat Sandbox. But there might be some ratings that you guys disagree with me with, so don't worry, you guys can do your own rating system. Now the first team on our rating listing is going to be Liverpool. So super nice to see that a kind of top 6 side or traditional top 6 side, Liverpool might not get that this season, but in terms of the traditional top 6, Liverpool are definitely going to be there. Now their upcoming fixtures are Nottingham Forest away, Leeds at home, Spurs away, and Southampton at home. So great fixtures on paper from an attacking point of view. And also if you guys are going to bring in a defender on a wildcard, you should have to hope that they shore up defensively. Now literally Game Week 15 against Spurs is the only game that you have to worry about, but even that game could have quite a few goals in it. Now the nice thing about Liverpool, or I guess the unfortunate thing about them, is that because of the injury situation, their pool of players is limited and therefore you're guaranteed to get starts. So I would highly recommend getting at least 2 Liverpool assets, but just wait and see how many I put in my wildcard draft. Continuing on this kind of traditional top 6, we've got Man City up next. Great fixtures on paper, definitely recommend getting at least a double up. Definitely the best team in the Prem at the moment, and when you combine that with lovely fixtures, you guys are going to equal FPL points. Now Brighton at home is a little bit of a tough game, but this is Man City at the end of the day, can score against anyone, and that's why I wouldn't even regard that as a red fixture. Then Leicester away, Fulham at home, and Brentford at home. I mean, what better fixtures can you guys ask for? Maybe Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth, but I'll settle for those 3. And now you guys can see why I recommended a double up, but I probably would get a triple up. The attacking stats look amazing on City, the defensive stats look amazing, and that's why you simply have to get them. Now go on to a side that probably has the best fixtures, might not be the best stats, might not be the best team, but if you have some of the best fixtures, it's going to be Everton. Now they have Crystal Palace at home, Fulham away, Leicester at home, and then end on Game Week 16 with Bournemouth away. So as you guys can see, 4 green fixtures. I don't really know why Fix has rated them as the 3rd highest. I'd probably rate them as the best, because on paper those fixtures are amazing. Now unfortunately in terms of the attacking options, not too many to go for, even the defenders might be a little bit hit or miss, but I've actually managed to sneak 1 option in my starting 11. Then we go on to West Ham, and I'm pretty sure you Bowen owners will be smiling at the current moment. Lovely fixtures on paper from an attacking point of view, and if you guys want to go for an out there punt like a Skamaka, he could even be a good forward to look at. Now added to this, the defensive options, West Ham's XG Conceded is pretty strong, and that's why if you want to go for a Zuma, a Cresswell, I could also suggest these options. So Bournemouth at home, United away, Crystal Palace at home, and then finally Leicester at home, on paper great attacking games. Then a team that's no surprise to great fixtures, you guys know this, from a few game weeks back to Game Week 16, Crystal Palace have amazing fixtures, and they have Everton away, Southampton at home, West Ham away, and then finally Nottingham Forest away. So the only tough game on paper, I think there's going to be West Ham away. Their defensive stats, as I mentioned, are pretty strong, so from an attacking point of view, a Zaha might be contained there, but Nottingham Forest in Game Week 16 kind of makes up for it. Now like with West Ham, the defensive options from Crystal Palace should be quite attractive at their cheap price points. Then the final team kind of completing our top 6, however, I want to mention that Spurs also have great fixtures. They're one of the teams that narrowly missed out on this top 6 ratings. It's going to be the Arsenal assets. So Southampton away, Nottingham Forest at home, Chelsea away, and then Wolves away. So they kind of end this run with a little bit of bad fixtures. The last 2 are not that great, but if you guys are planning kind of a sucker to a Foden move, that'll be a nice transition. So definitely those first 2, Southampton away and Nottingham Forest at home, are great fixtures, but even on paper, like Man City, the attacking stats and defensive stats are looking pretty strong, so the Chelsea away game and Wolves away game might even be FPL points at the end of the day. Now as mentioned earlier on, Spurs also have some great fixtures, some other teams also have pretty strong ones. Wolves the next 2 look pretty strong, but then they get a little bit tougher. There are definitely some teams to target if you guys don't want to go for these top 6, but in terms of my ratings and the fixed ratings, these are going to be the top 6 sides. Let me know what team that you guys are potentially going to target. I think an Everton, great fixtures on paper, maybe an Anthony Gordon. Now that he can actually feature, he could be a great asset to look at. What are your guys out there differentials on your wildcards? So lovely transition into our wildcard draft. We've taken a look at the fixtures. We're going to focus on those teams, mix them around with one or two other assets, and boom, that's going to be a wildcard draft. So in terms of the boring admin things first, bottom right hand side, 0.7 in the bank. So yes, I had 0.7 after I created this team. My team value might be slightly different to yours though, so just make sure that you guys can afford this draft if you want to go for it. Now I'm going to start off on the bench department like I always do because we have some talking points here. I simply have chosen a pretty cheap bench, but if you guys do have value in the bank like myself, I'll probably upgrade one or two of these assets to make a stronger bench. But I've gone pretty cheap on my bench just because if you guys do have a lower team value, you can simply just copy this bench. So I'm going to start off with the outfield options, Andreas, Anderson, and Williams. Could also go for Gay if you guys want to, but I am a little bit concerned about his yellow card ratio. And that's why I think Anderson might be worth the extra 0.1 or 0.2. And then also Neko Williams, just a cheap defender to go for. Hopefully he won't have to start too many games. But at least in game week 12 when we needed him, he got us a clean sheet. Then finally Andreas at that price point, the best midfielder to go for. But if you guys do have some value, could also upgrade him to a more expensive asset. Now I have left Begovic here because it's kind of a giveaway on my goalkeeper pairing. I'm going to bring Pickford in right now because it's an obvious kind of pairing to go for. If I'm going for Begovic, it's going to be with Pickford. If you guys want to go for Danny Ward instead, 100%, but I do prefer the Everton goalkeeper double up. Now the reason I have gone for the Everton goalkeeper, you could also go for Guaita, great fixtures on paper, but I just do prefer Pickford over this run of 4. I just think that he always gets save points, and if they do keep a clean sheet, probably will be in the bonus points as Everton aren't scoring that many goals at the moment. But this is definitely a position that you guys could rotate, but I think on a wildcard, you want to be slightly different. The rest of the team is pretty template, so an Everton defender is an out there punt. Going on to the rest of our back three, you guys can see a 3-4-3 formation, kind of a nice OG FPL formation as I always do like to say. And we're combining the OG formation with the new age fullbacks, and the first one's going to be Cancelo. So as we saw with Man City, second best fixtures in terms of the fixed ratings, definitely have to get a defender in from them, and Cancelo's the most nailed one to get in my opinion. Also does like to get the odd goal or an assist. His attacking threat hasn't been that great this season, but at his price point, and because you guys can afford this team, I definitely would look at him. But yes, if you guys do want to go for another asset, want a cheaper option, and a Kanji, a Ruben Diaz, these kind of centre backs are assets, but I don't think there's any reason not to go for Cancelo. Same can be said about Trent Alexander-Arnold, except I do prefer him from an attacking point of view to defensive point of view, unlike Cancelo, as the Liverpool defense hasn't been as strong, but I do expect them to rebound. I think the next 4 fixtures on paper should be good. The Spurs game might be slightly tough, but I do think Trent can even get an attacking return in that one. Now there might be some concern about playing time, and that's why I would make sure to watch the game tonight against West Ham, recording this before the West Ham game, so I can't really say if Trent starts, gets subbed off early, or what happens in that fixture, so please make sure that you check out that game. But I do expect Trent to start the majority of games from now till game week 16, but there might be some concern with the Champions League football returning next midweek. I guess another option could be a Virgil Van Dyke. We discussed this on the deadline stream yesterday. Virgil will get you those clean sheets hopefully, maybe 1 or 2 attacking returns off those set pieces, and is guaranteed to play all their fixtures. Now the last defender to go for unfortunately won't be a fullback, but is equally, if not better of an option. It's going to be Gabriel from Arsenal. So I've gone for the more expensive asset here. You could also go for a Ben White if you're lacking funds. I think he's a great asset to potentially look at, but I think that Gabriel is a centre back to go for in that squad. Now Arsenal have great fixtures coming up, great defensive stats, no reason not to get an Arsenal defender in, and that's why Gabriel's my option of choice. Now unfortunately with the Arsenal fullbacks, yes, Ben White could be an asset, but I just think in terms of a Tomiyasu, a Tierney, these sort of assets, you can't really go for them as there's going to be some rotation as well with Zinchenko. So I guess either Ben White, Gabriel, or Saliba, and I prefer Gabriel even though he is more expensive. Now in terms of the defensive department, I think it kind of picks itself. You want a Liverpool defender, you want a Man City defender, an Arsenal defender. The goalkeeper is the only kind of variation that you could go for. Yes, you could go for Guaita, but I just prefer Everton's fixtures. Now going on to midfield department, and the first one is a semi-no-brainer on a wildcard. Everyone brought him in for game week 12 anyways. It's going to be Mo Salah. Nottingham Forest away, simply too good of a fixture to ignore. Let's just hope that he gets on form tonight against West Ham. So in terms of the premium assets, yes, Spurs have great fixtures. You could go for Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, but I do think that Salah could be worth it over these next 4. Mentioned this early on with those Liverpool assets, because of the injury situation with their attackers, Mo Salah should be guaranteed to start most games, and therefore with those lovely fixtures coming up, that should equal FPL points. Next midfielder to go for is going to be Saka, a player that I transferred out, I think game week 9 for Wilfred Zaha or game week 10. I've regretted it ever since, and that's always a good reason to get a player back in. Now Saka for the next 2 fixtures looks really strong. After that though, kind of game week 15-16 doesn't look as strong, but Arsenal are playing great football at the moment, and therefore even against Chelsea and Wolves, Saka could get you FPL points. The reason for that is that obviously he is on penalties for Arsenal this season, and we've seen that over these prior 2 game weeks. Now with Saka, I've kind of comboed him up, gone for a combo wombo of Martinelli and Saka here. Great kind of assets to go for. Martinelli at his cheap price point. You probably have him in your team already. I just keep hold of him with that value. But please just watch out for that Arsenal game coming midweek in the Europa League. Now both these two assets over the next two look great, and Game Week 15-16 could shift one of them on if you guys want to move on to a player with better fixtures. Now, final midfielder to go for, I think on a wildcard, everyone's kind of going for him. It's going to be Phil Foden. I unfortunately can't really get him. I think I'm going to get Saka in this week, have him for 2 game weeks, then move him to Foden. But on a wildcard, there's no excuse. I'd get Phil Foden into my FPL team. The reason for this is that you want Man City coverage, De Bruyne is too expensive, Phil Foden's outperforming him at his cheaper price point, and that's why he's simply a no-brainer. Now, Man City's fixtures coming up, already spoke with Cancelo, great fixtures on paper, and that's why triple up for me is essential. Talking about that triple up, let's just go on to the number one option in our FPL teams at the moment. It's Erling Haaland in our forward department. He's going nowhere on a wild card. Could go for Harry Kane with some nice fixtures, but Man City have even better fixtures. So there's simply no reason to go without Erling Haaland unless he is going to get injured. So I do think Cancelo, Foden and Haaland is the combo to go for, or the triple up to go for Man City. I think that'll be the best value triple up as well as the most points triple up to go for in these next 4 game weeks. Now the last 2 forwards to go for are going to be more kind of budget options. Unfortunately, the forwards have simply gone off a cliff. Yes, we have a Darwin, we have a Firmino. They could be valuable assets to go for, but I just prefer these next 2. Now the next forward to go for is going to be Mitrovic. He has Leeds up next, great fixture on paper. Fulham have some nice figures coming up from now till game week 16. However, I'm not really expecting the award from Mitrovic over the next 4. I just feel like at his price point, a talisman for Fulham. If they're going to score, hopefully Mitrovic is involved, and that's why even though their fixtures are getting a little bit tougher, I still want to back him. Then our final forward to go for is going to be Solanke from Bournemouth. Now he's going to be kind of a rotation piece with wherever your upgraded bench option is. Right now Andreas could simply rotate with him. If I want to play Andreas in game week 13 or you guys want to play him, 100% fine. I just feel like at his price point and with Bournemouth kind of increasing from an attacking point of view, he might be a great asset still. But if you guys do want to shift your formation, kind of go for a big 5 in midfield, you can downgrade Solanke or Mitrovic to wherever you do please, and then upgrade Andreas to a more expensive asset. I personally just prefer this 3-4-3, could also shift to a 4-4-2 formation, as you're getting all the big hitters in that you want to and the best teams. But obviously with the wildcard, it's super situational. You guys can have a completely different draft to myself. Drop it in the comments down below, use it as a template, add 1 or 2 differentials, add your own flavor to it, and come back to me with the better version. But as mentioned in the introduction, if you guys are on the wildcard, drop your latest draft down below and let's compare our teams. But this is basically a wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you didn't subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I will see you guys in the future content, team selection coming up tomorrow, and hopefully Mo Salah banks tonight as our captain. But I'm signing off with Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.